I'm your host, Annie Bowles, and this is News du Jour. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the News du Jour, a calmer space to consume the news. So we don't always have a theme for every episode. Usually we don't, but today we do have a theme. All three stories we're going to discuss today are legal cases playing out in court right now. So let's jump into the details. The first story we're going to cover is Fox News being sanctioned by a judge. So, the judge overseeing the Dominion voting machine case announced yesterday that he would be sanctioning Fox News Network and potentially even beginning an investigation into the group. Why? Well, he discovered Fox News was withholding information from the court and from the opposing legal team. See, there were a number of instances where Fox lawyers did not turn over evidence being requested until weeks and weeks later, interfering with the court's ability to proceed fairly and in a timely manner. For example, documents that they asked for weeks and weeks prior only arrived yesterday as the trial is just days away. And that's not enough time for the Dominion legal team to review this evidence and weave it into their case. The lawyers told the judge that they were still receiving all of the relevant documents they'd requested from Fox News. And the judge said that he felt there were, quote, misrepresentations to the court, end quote, on the part of Fox, and that they were, quote, very serious, end quote. So what does it mean to be sanctioned? Well, basically, because Fox News has not been cooperating with reasonable requests from Dominion, that now if Dominion asks for any additional depositions or to redo any of the work that was done improperly, Fox is required to, quote, do everything they can to make the person available, and it will be at a cost to Fox, end quote. And the judge even asked, quote, what do I do with attorneys that are not straightforward with me, end quote. And this case really is all about truth and honesty. The case hinges on whether or not Fox News lied. So this is not a good look for them right off the bat. In terms of the withholding information from the judge, he said he will likely appoint a special master to oversee an investigation into whether or not Fox News and their legal team purposefully withheld information to shield their CEO, Rupert Murdoch, from accountability in court. The actual trial for this case begins on Monday, and jury selection will be the first order of business, actually probably happening on Thursday. But things aren't starting off on a good foot for Fox, who already seems to have the judge pretty PO'd. Just yesterday, it was made known that one of Fox News sources on the Dominion information was a delusional woman who said she knew Dominion voting machines were rigged because she could time travel and she has special powers. That was their news source, you guys. That was their source that proved the Dominion voting machines were rigged. For a major news network, they should know better. And there's just no room for that type of game playing in ethical journalism. I feel like this court case is going to bring out some pretty damning information, even for President Trump too, because at the end of the day, this was all about him and propping up his false claims. These were the only people who were backing him up. And now Fox News Network is going to have to really measure their words more carefully as they do have weight and ramifications that can now be felt in court. And next up in court cases we are discussing today, Juul. So the vape company Juul, which seemingly promoted its products to children, has finally reached a settlement of $462 million in their lawsuit with New York, California, and other states. Now, this doesn't end all of their legal battles, but they still have a lawsuit pending in Minnesota, but these are the big ones that were likely causing the largest headache. They've also resolved claims in DC, Colorado, Massachusetts, New Mexico, and Illinois, according to the New York Times. This company used young people, playful colors, and fruity flavors in their advertising that left many people feeling that they were deliberately marketing towards minors. Additionally, they failed to disclose that these products did contain nicotine, an addictive drug that children may or may not have realized was in the product. And now, kids nationwide have become addicted to vaping and are having serious health issues because of it. If you're wanting a deeper dive on this subject, I highly recommend the podcast, The Vaping Fix, that details the rise of the company Juul specifically and what the ramifications have been for minors and parents.
Strike!
Tell me something I don't know, Ump.
Well, unlike that nasty curveball, there aren't any surprises when you finance your next car with Carvana. You get real terms personalized for you right in your strike zone.
Really?
Steer-right!
How am I supposed to focus when you're telling me about Carvana?
Well, Slugger, you gotta keep your eye on the ball. Just like you can keep an eye on your customized down and monthly car payments.
I can customize those?
He's out and on his way to finance his next car with Carvana.
Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get pre-qualified today. We'll drive you happy at Carvana.
And for the final court case we are discussing today, the Manhattan DA sues GOP lawmaker. So the Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg, has now made moves to sue Jim Jordan, a Republican member of the House of Representatives. He did so because Jim Jordan threatened to interfere with Bragg's case against President Trump. Going in, Bragg probably knew that he was going to have some pushback from Republicans on Capitol Hill. He's no dummy. So he probably had plans in place to handle this specific type of interference in order to try and protect his case as much as he could. He's not fucking around, you guys. This lawsuit he brought, it's 50 pages long, and it accuses Jim Jordan of a, quote, brazen and unconstitutional attack, end quote, and, quote, transparent campaign to intimidate and attack, end quote. And of course, in that quote, he means attack Alvin Bragg because of his case against former President Donald Trump. You see, Jim Jordan actually brought a court case against the former Manhattan DA who began a lot of this work investigating Donald Trump, and he eventually wrote a book about it. Bragg is trying to block that court case because he feels it's essentially just harassment, and Jim Jordan is just trying to complicate the case that he is bringing against former President Trump. And Bragg is putting up a fight. And Jim Jordan responded to this action on Twitter saying, quote, first, they indict a president for no crime. Then they sue to try and block congressional oversight when we ask questions about the federal funds they say they used to do it, end quote. Woof. So whether or not there is a crime committed will be decided in a court of law. But the back and forth will probably continue up until the end and far after. So that's where things stand as of now. But we'll be sure to keep you guys posted on all of these cases. And that for today is the news du jour. Today, I wanted to leave you guys with the quote, right is right, even if everyone is against it. Wrong is wrong, even if everyone's for it. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on whatever podcast platform you use to listen. A rate and review or shout out on social media would mean the world to us and help us be able to keep creating the news du jour. But the best way to support all of our work is to become a patron at www.patreon.com/sugarfree media. You can also follow us on social media under sugarfreemedia.co on Instagram and just sugarfree media, all one word, on TikTok. We appreciate you listening and look forward to telling you about the news again next time on News du Jour.
Broadcasting from Oklahoma.